First and foremost, all thanks and praises unto our power, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Wa Rakakwadash. Peace, blessings, much respect to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, on down to the rest of the elders who rule well within Israel. Salutations to the hopeful elect throughout the four corners of this whole entire earth, no matter where, whom they may be, or what they may look like, pushing out this purified truth. To the rest of the church who believe as well. You men who may not be teachers or prophets, you women, sons, and daughters also. And the water to Yahweh Shai, because without him enduring and going to that cross for the nation of Israel and the nation of Israel alone, none of this would even be possible whatsoever. Luke chapter 21 and verse 19. In your patience possess ye your souls. So with all the trials and tribulations that we go through, we have to possess our spirit. We have to keep control. We can't be out here spazzing out, taking matters into our hands, right? We can't get in the mentality of wanting to go back into the world because we're fed up, we're tired of suffering, okay? We got to suffer. We got to go through this. We make these lessons may come off as being repetitive. They got to be done. It has to be done, okay? There ain't no other option, because if we don't do this, we're going to be destroyed, period, point blank. So we have to keep that in mind. You know, we have to control our spirit, you know, keep control of our sanity, so to speak, make sure that we stay on this righteous path as much as possible, because it's easy to stray away and to veer off to the right or to the left. Okay. In your patience, possess ye your souls. So we have to be patient and keep control of our spirit. Not be Fallout Boys, not decide that, you know what, this is getting repetitive, this is getting old, I'm tired of doing these lessons, I'm tired of saying the same thing over and over again. You know, hey, you got to control your spirit, you got to keep that patience. We do. Hebrews 6 and 12. That ye be not slothful, but followers of them who through faith and patience inherit the promise. So how are we going to inherit the promise? Through being patient and keeping our faith. Okay, we have to control our spirit. For when the power made promise to Abraham, because he could swear by no greater, he swore by himself, saying, surely blessing I will bless thee, and multiplying I will multiply thee. And so after he had patiently endured, he obtained the promise. And look at the promise that has been shown. It was told to Abraham that he would multiply. Look at all the seeds, or really not seeds. Look at all the fruit, so to speak. Look at all the people that have come out of Abraham. Okay? Many people have come out of Abraham. Abraham didn't get to live to see it. Okay? But does that mean it would have never happened? It happened. And that's where we are right now. Okay? So just like the Lord has promised us a kingdom, he's promised us deliverance and all these things, we have to endure so that we can obtain the promise, because the Lord is not a man that he should lie. We have to control our spirit, regardless of how repetitive it may seem. You may be doing videos and you feel like, man, I feel like I did this already. I feel like I done talked about this last week. I feel like I done talked about this yesterday. You know, you might get tired of hearing yourself talk. We got to do this, man. Psalms 101 and 3. I will set no wicked thing before mine eyes. I hate the work of them that turn aside. It shall not cleave to me. So we can't turn aside. David was a man after the Most High's heart. And David said he hates the work of them who turns aside, which means he hates them as well. So turning aside in this ministry, going back into the world is not an option, unless you want to get destroyed. All right. So we have to keep control of our spirit. All right. As much as it may seem convenient sometimes to just say, to hell with this, no one's listening anyway. Oh, well. No, it ain't no oh, well. Sirach chapter 26 and verse 28. There be two things that grieve my heart, and the third maketh me angry. A man of war that suffereth poverty, and men of understanding that are not set by, and one that returneth from righteousness to sin, The Lord prepareth such an one for the sword. So to come into this truth and then to lose control of your spirit, now you decide you want to go back into the world, the Lord is going to kill you. Okay? Yeah, we sound like a broken record. We sound like a CD on repeat. We sound like a playlist that's put on repeat. It don't matter. This has to be done. Because if not, the Lord has vengeance prepared for those who draw back, prepared for those who turn back because they couldn't control their spirit. They couldn't hold on to their patience. Zephaniah chapter 1 and 2. I will utterly consume all things from off the land, saith the Lord. Like what? Verse 6. And them that are turned back from the Lord, and those that have not sought the Lord, nor inquired of him. So those who come into this truth and draw back are going to be put to death. And those who have not repented, those who have not inquired in the Lord, are going to also be put to death. So we have to keep control of our spirit and make sure we stay pleasing the Lord. Okay? Because it's not looking good for most people. And we don't want to fall into the judgment of most people. Okay? So let's read this again in the book of Sirach, chapter 26 and verse 28. There be two things that grieve my heart, and the third maketh me angry. A man of war that suffereth poverty, and men of understanding that are not set by, and one that returneth from righteousness to sin. The Lord prepareth such an one for the sword. Let's stay in the Apocrypha. This is the book of Sirach, also known as the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 5 and verse 6. And say not his mercy is great, he will be pacified for the multitude of my sins. For mercy and wrath come from him, and his indignation resteth upon sinners. So don't think for a second that if you were to draw back and go back into the world, somehow, some way the Lord is going to understand your pain. He's going to understand your struggle and show mercy upon you. Yeah, no one was listening to you. You were being rejected. People despised you. People were fighting against you tooth and nail as much as possible. And it was just vexing your spirit, you know. It was overwhelming. Don't think for a second the Lord is going to justify you drawing back into the world. Any of us, if any of us decide to go back into the world because this became too much for us, the Lord is going to set judgment upon whoever does that. Whoever does that. Okay? There's plenty of times I may not feel as energetic in the spirit as others, but even on moments I'm not really feeling as energetic as others, I understand the work has to be done. Okay? Regardless. Okay? Because this flesh is weak as hell. And this flesh will get us put to death if we let this flesh lead us. Okay? And say not his mercy is great. Oh, I'm going to turn back. I'm going to, do my thing. The Lord understands my heart. Once I get my money up, I'll come back. The Lord understands. It ain't going to happen like that. And say not his mercy is great. He will be pacified for the multitude of my sins. For mercy and wrath come from him, and indignation resteth upon sinners. Okay? So we can't draw back now. We in too deep. Let's touch on James chapter 1 and verse 25. But whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty and continueth therein, he being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work, this man shall be blessed in his deed. So we have to continue in this thing. We have to be a hearer, a doer, and then continue thereby. It doesn't matter how long you've been in this truth. If you don't endure until the end being until the Lord either takes your spirit out the earth through death or through deliverance. If it ain't one of those two, there is no way out of this. All right? We in deep. All right? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai wants us to be in this thing for the long haul, however long it may be. Some men may come into the truth at the very last hour. They're still going to receive their penny. So let's say a man comes into the truth and he's only teaching for 2 years, then Yahweh Shai returns. He's still going to get his reward. Another man can't say, look, man, I was out there for 20 plus years. How do you get a reward and you've only been out there for 2 years? It doesn't matter. What matters is we're all going to get the same penny. And from the point that we start until the point that the Lord closed down the shop, we are indeed to do this ministry so that we can receive the reward of our labor that's been promised to us. All right. So James 1:25 again, but whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty and continueth therein, he being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work, this man shall be blessed in his deed. So you have to continue on this work so that you can be blessed. And like I read in Luke 21:19, we have to control our spirit because this flesh is weak, but our spirit within us, that's what keeps us in this battle. So I'm going to go on ahead and close it there. Give all thanks and praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Warakak Wadash. I'm out.